This is Santiago Meza Lopez, the most infamous figure in the world of narcotics who dissolved 300 bodies in acid and become known as El Pozolero, or the Stew Maker. His importance was so immense that just days after his arrest, cartel hitmen launched a failed attempt to break him out of jail. But the questions are how this man became the Stew Maker, why his role mattered so much for the cartel, and most importantly, how he changed the course of the drug trade. Let's see. In the late 1980s, a man named Miguel Felix Gallardo was arrested, and his capture caused his cartel to split into three factions. One of these was the notorious Arellano Felix cartel, led by brothers Benjamin and Ramon Felix. They controlled key trade routes from Tijuana to Baja California, routes that the Sinaloa cartel also wanted. This rivalry quickly turned violent, unleashing unprecedented chaos in Mexico. Kidnappings, assassinations, and brutal attacks claimed thousands of lives. Cartels dumped bodies in rivers, clogged sewers, and hung victims from bridges, leaving cities in horror. Then, suddenly, the bodies stopped appearing. This might seem like good news. After all, fewer bodies must mean fewer victims. But no, people were still disappearing. From 1996 to the late 2000s, about 30,000 people went missing each year due to cartel violence. Authorities were left with one unanswered question: where were the bodies? Santiago, born in Sinaloa, Mexico in 1964, grew up in deep poverty with 9 siblings. This tough start forced him to become independent early on. By adulthood, he became a skilled mason. In the late 1980s, Santiago's talent caught the eye of the Arellano Felix cartel. He began with masonry work and later cared for their horses. His bosses quickly saw his potential beyond horses, and he was promoted to oversee cartel drug depots in Tijuana. Meanwhile, the conflict between the Arellano Felix cartel and the Sinaloa cartel escalated, leaving thousands dead in just months with bodies scattered across the city. This surge in violence drew the attention of the Mexican army, police, and U.S. agencies like the DEA and FBI. Realizing the growing body count could expose them, the Arellano brothers sought advice from foreign criminals skilled in body disposal. In 1996, they were given a grim solution: dissolve the flesh into paste and grind the bones to dust. The method was horrifying but effective. Now, the real challenge was trust. They needed someone reliable. So, the Arellano brothers chose Santiago for the job and tasked drug lords Efrain Perez and Jorge Arellano Felix with testing him. To do this, Santiago was taken to a room with a 200-liter drum filled with caustic soda and other chemicals. He was told to drop a large chunk of meat into the solution and stir until it dissolved. 6 months later, Santiago was called for a second test. This time, there were 2 changes: an audience of henchmen and a dead body instead of meat. Santiago was told to strip the body and stuff it into a 200-liter barrel of corrosive liquid. They watched as the liquid bubbled and turned red, then left it overnight. By morning, all that remained was a gooey sludge with bone fragments. The method worked. Soon, Santiago became the head of the disposal operation, earning $600 a week. He handled up to 30 bodies a month. The process took about 8 hours, leaving behind only bones, teeth, and nails, which Santiago burned and buried. This is how he earned the nickname El Pozolero, or the Stew Maker. Over time, Santiago created a more efficient drainage system, ensuring his work remained undetected. Santiago eventually worked directly for Teodoro Garcia Cemento, or El Teo. But in 2008, El Teo had a fallout with the Arellano brothers and switched to the Sinaloa cartel, bringing Santiago with him. Now Santiago was dissolving bodies for his former rivals, proving his loyalty was to money, not people. For years, authorities had no clue who El Pozolero was. In 2005, 2 kidnappers under El Teo were captured and revealed details about Santiago. With this information, he became a high-priority target, even landing on the FBI's most wanted list. Yet, Santiago stayed hidden until 2009, when he made a mistake. While partying in Baja California, someone tipped off the police about his location. El Teo fled with his men, but Santiago, too drunk and distracted, was left behind. On January 25, 2009, Santiago was arrested and admitted to dissolving over 300 bodies. Evidence at the chicken coop a drainage site Santiago built in Baja California revealed the true extent of his horrifying work. Santiago used the location for over a year until the Mexican army raided it, but they found nothing since they didn't know what to look for. In 2017, graves with 7,000 human fragments and 2,000 teeth were discovered, proving his body count wasn't 300, but in the tens of thousands. Another site, La Gallera, revealed 14,000 more fragments, exposing the true extent of his crimes. In 2012, Santiago was sentenced to 10 years for organized crime, but he was never charged for stewing bodies despite evidence in his confession. Do you believe he'll ever face true justice for his actions? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. See you in our next video. Until then, take care and thanks for watching.